And we're off.
Welcome to KFL headquarters. I'm Olofson.
And I'm Anders Svensson. And welcome to Eye on Axis. Big news, Olof, is that
Yes, Anders.
we're going to start with the final series from last year and talk about the teams and go through it. But it was big news to just come through the internet connection live into Sweden.
Huge news there, Anders. Absolutely huge news.
I got through Skype. How did you get through, mate?
It was through the ice with the Huskies on the bobsleds. Just got it the other day in the mail, mate.
And the situation is, we can report a huge shock, is that the reigning premier, the premier of two seasons in 2008 and 2009, Isotopes are out.
Absolutely shocking. Incredible news. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but maybe you'd like to start by talking about last year's season.
Yeah, well, I mean, talking about Isotopes, what an amazing team that they've been in the last 2 years. They've taken out the last two premierships. In the first year, impressively, they were a long way in front of the nearest rival.
Dominant team.
Come into the finals. I think that then they dropped a few games just to build up their draft selections, and then by the finals they wiped all the sides apart. Last year, it was a workmanlike performance, I thought.
Yeah, good enough.
They were in the top 4 teams. I wouldn't say
bit lucky, I heard. Bit lucky.
I heard from Thugs and Magpies.
Thugs and Magpies were considering a bit lucky.
If we have a look, let's go to our spreadsheet, and if we look here, if we look at Isotopes against Thugs and Magpies, Isotopes had 2,363 to Magpies was 2,274. You would say he's considered lucky to get into the semi-final there with a score of 17-78 in the first final, which was, I mean, that's very, very low. And he got through and he played his best game and he got through to the final.
And is exactly right. I'd have to go back to that. I think Thugs Magpies headquarters were saying that Isotopes were quite lucky last year. They were dominant the year before, but last year, that score, really, if you look at the other results, Thugs Magpies over 2,000, Might and Power, huge score there. And he would have been lucky to win, probably against almost anyone else except the very soft James Teasdale in charge of Blue Baggers.
Yeah, that's a big call, Olaf. Not soft as
We're
a
going to make the hard calls.
I
Make the hard calls.
Yeah,
so make no apology for that.
Well, I think anyway, the top 4 teams were a very good team. And we'll get down to that later. We might get into that.
Yeah,
but let's just stick to the great team. I think they are a great team, Isotopes. When coming into the season, 2 seasons in a row, 1-2. It's very hard to win a premiership. They're 1-2. And now they're out. He's a shrewd operator, a very intelligent man, and also well respected in the competition. I think the competition is going to be poorer, but the season now is wide open for a lot of events and a lot of teams. And I think that even gives Enzo Rabatini a chance. I mean, usually you talk about the Rabatini brothers; they don't have any chance normally in a normal season.
Not normally, no.
One less team may make a chance where they might win in one game and get into the finals. That would be a shock, but we can come to that later.
Yeah,
but you wanted to touch on. I think that. Coach Paul Gilchrist said that it was difficult for him to play this year. He had problems at home, and I don't think he minds us talking about that. He was close to divorce, and he was also threatened at works. And you don't really buy that too much.
No, I don't. Maybe I can extrapolate further on that. But first of all, I'd just like to say that, I mean, who hasn't been threatened with divorce with this game, Supercoach? I mean, I'm in it, you're in it, in this Swedish league. And doing quite well, of course. But who hasn't been threatened with that? And at work, like, seriously, give me a break. Like, there are ways and means, for a smart operator, smooth man like him, surely, and now I'm speaking to the camera, Paul, surely you can find some time. My spies there, through our Swedish network, actually see you catch the train to Ballarat, apparently. From Ballarat to Melbourne, you've got about an hour here. Haven't you heard of wireless networking? Like an hour a day, isn't that enough? How much time do you need?
I've actually heard of an iPhone too, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, iPhones. They exist apparently. Apparently they have internet there, Anders, which Supercoach is predominantly run on. So I'm just flabbergasted. Flabbergasted is the word, and you're right, I think it's pretty poor, and he's obviously got out when he's on the way down.
Ooh.
That's my call. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to make the hard calls.
So he's on the way down. He was out. On that point, before we go to the commercial break, Olof, is that
Anders?
You think about it. He's a shrewd operator in this way.
Very shrewd.
2 seasons, wins it, knows he's on the way down. He's out. If only Enzo Rabatini had done that after the first year.
I mean, yeah, good point.
Enzo Rabatini went well in the first year, and in the last years he's dropped down so far that now he's being compared to his brother, and that's the low of the lows, really.
That's look. Just before we quickly go, don't get me started on Rabo Records. That's a separate part of the segment. But to be compared to Rabo Records, Enzo, that would be your lowest of the low. And I think we'll have to talk about the targeting the two teams here in Sweden did to Enzo's Devils, and they just nosedived. But anyway, I think we need to get to the commercial, and we'll be back after the break.